Hello, good morning everyone. So today we're going to see the continuity last part where we lacked. So we will see the variant and how many way we can use the variables. So we will concentrate on the variables. Before going variable, I want to tell you what are the things today post variable we're going to cover. We will do one small project, that's cloud infrastructure. We try to connect our Ansible control system with the cloud infrastructure. So there's two type of cloud infrastructure. You can also reserve from the Cisco. You have to register your email ID and you have to fill up the form. Once you register, you will get the login ID. I will teach you how to do this all things in DevOps class in upcoming classes. For you right now, what I have done, I have registration and everything ready with the Cisco. So I have pick up one always on cloud. What is always on? This is going to be available 24/7, but this is not dedicated cloud. This is the share cloud where other user also going to do the work. So please do not remove or delete anything, otherwise your credential going to be logged by the Cisco, and once Cisco lock, they will track. That's your responsibility if you are not able to do after that. Okay, first, second thing, we have reserve one. Of course, it's complete your responsibility. You cannot use this reserve one without VPN. So you need to set up the VPN so that you can create the virtual tunnel, VPN tunnel, between the reserve cloud infra and to your PC. Clear? So goes clear here till this point. You are comfortable?
Yes.
Okay.
One question, actually. This is for always for this reserve cloud, we have to connect via VPN. That's okay. But for always on, don't we need VPN? How we connect
Okay,
this?
very good questions. Very good. So I will tell you how to connect. Don't worry. This for this you don't need VPN. They will give you the public IP with a routable by which you can directly going to connect, but they will restrict with the port number. So like we cannot ping as ICMP will be not allowed. So only the port number 22 or 80 or 443 are not. 80 also not allowed. Okay, so we will see. So either you can do using the REST API. We're going to be talk on the 443, or you can do the PuTTY.
SSH.
From PuTTY you can direct access there. I will show you. Don't worry about that. So we will use the 22 port number because Ansible use what port number? Tell me as a transport. Guys,
SSH
SSH. What is the port number
22.
of SSH?
22.
22. So we will going to use SSH, and that's going to be transport is 22, and always on going to be connect. Okay. So we will see that project, and we will see try to solve the control machine. What are the setup do we need to access? Otherwise you are not able to do. You can see the Diffie-Hellman and Cypher. I have already check with the our real infrastructure while we're connecting on the rack. So same lab you can do with this. Clear? Or project we will do. So this is the second part of the today class. Today what we going to see right now, let me go for. So right now in this class we will discuss about the variable. Do you remember what are the variables parameter we discussed? So we discussed last class, we have command as a variable, right?
Yes.
Commands as a variable. So we have list of commands. So as a variable I can make my own list of set of command. Second variable we have discussed, and we pass this as a Jinja template, of course. Okay. Now today we're going to move the next level of variable, that is called login. like today's case, if you see the problem of today's, let me go to the green one. The problem got Naval got the problem. What problem he got? He forget to pass the login authentication, right?
Yes.
So without login authentication, I want to do this. So I have to declare the variable and we can enjoy without login. I should not pass every time login. So this login part going to be a declared as a variable. My username and password going to be defined on the variable, and that going to be managed by the my playbook. So I have only two components in the playbook. Till now we have three components. First component from Ansible playbook keyword, then followed by the my YAML play, which is created the code in that. Then you are follow the credential. So I'm going to call those
Asha bhai,
credential as a variable. Yeah.
okay, so could it be like timestamp? Also, could it be like variable because it is also going to change? So will can we consider timestamp as a
Yes, yes,
variable?
sure. Yeah, I will come one by one. Try to understand variable.
Okay.
Not as a variable, we will understand as a task. We will come because time spent going time stamp we're going to use as a task. Whenever you create file or folder for me, you create with the timestamp. Creating for the folder is important, creating for the file is important, maybe nomenclature is important, otherwise there is no meaning. Okay, so we will understand the time spent and we will try to use those time spent later in the couple of classes we're going to use, don't worry. Okay, so first we will try to resolve the small thing. So we're going to see the next variable as a username password, and there is a different world itself for the username password. You will see how we're going to use this, and there is a called persistency. So till now we have used the connection type as a connection type. What we use? Anyone? We use local. Okay, till now. But we will see that if we will move to the connection type to the network CLI, so we're going to capture the persistence. And what is the difference? What's the meaning of persistence? We will do the lab and we will understand. So right now I will start the lab with the local, and we will see how this login variable going to be used. Then we will see if I want to not pass this username password each and every time, how you can use the persistency, and that's the better management called network CLI and a higher protocol over the transport. So better than local, how these are going to work. Okay, clear man? We should move on the lab.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. So let's move to the our VM. I'm going to move to my VM. Okay, here we are. Are you able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So let me open the my Sublime task. I'm going to create new. I'm going to create a new, and I'm going to save this file as a what are we going to do today? Verbs file, verb text. Okay, .yaml. So I can make. Okay, so this is my. So try to understand what we're going to do here. So tell me, I'm going to write slowly and you going to help me to write this code. Yes, Jitendra, tell me what is the first two command I supposed to give? What is the how to start writing the code?
Dot.
No, not dot, dash, dash, dash. Triple dash is opening, triple dot is close.
Closed.
Now you have to say list of the name, means you're going to define the name. So dash, single space followed by the name. What is the name of this play? Variables. Give the name is a very good practice. Variable testing in Ansible. See how I'm doing same way you do. Then you have to define my host name. So we have to give the always two space, 1 2 space. After that I have to define the host. Who is the host? My routers is the host, right? As a class we already defined. How do you know, Ashutosh? Just you cat etc Ansible host में देखना है what is the my class. So you can see the router is a class, so defined in my list, so I can use this. Okay, so routers. Then after that, tell me what is the command supposed to type.
Gather facts for.
Very good, thank you. Gather facts. So this time I will do no or false. Now after that, what is
We can define the task.
no, we have to define connection.
Okay, connection.
Connections, thank you. Connections. Connection will be what? I'm going to define right now the local. Okay. Now after define the connections, I'm going to define my variables before the task. So for variable, what I'm going to do? I'm going to define variables. What are the variables? So we have command line variables. Okay, and we will pass the command line variables. So what are the command? I will select any 3-4 commands. So clock, and I'm going to use so IPR just for 2 command. I can pass the 2 command, I can pass the 100 of command, does not matter. Within this variable only, I will pass another variable that is called login variable. Means that going to help me to log in. Okay, so in login, what are the things I have to use? Username. Okay, no, let me leave it this. Just complete your this, and we will test our task. Then I will come to the another variable. Otherwise, you're going to confuse. Task. So what is the task? What you want to do as a task? Nikhil. So iOS command.
Also give the name to any task, Ashwin. So
excellent. Thank you. You always help me. Yes, always giving name is a extra credit goes. Give the name to the task. Okay. So task giving name is important. What I'm doing, using the command module. Okay, these are the using the command module up. Come to the command, and then you have to start from the 2 space giving commands. Sorry, command module, iOS command module. Inside that, you have to pass your commands, right? That's the commands. So I'm going to use Jinja template because what happened? I have already defined this. So definition is a command line, as we have defined already here, and we will start with we saw the error. what we have earlier if we will not give the double quotes or single quote. Clear guys, still here? This command line nothing, this is the variable which is going to be called. So you have to define your command line here, and it's going to be Jinja template, it's going to be integrated. Okay, then I want to register. So register must be go where tab. I have to go a space here, and the register must be in iOS command alignment. So register. Okay, so I'm going to register this. So any registers, what is the cmd out, command out I want to capture. So whatever you will write here, same thing you have to debug. So again I will give the name, it's a good practice. I will give name, and then I'm going to tell let's debug this. So for debug I need to use the module called debug, and I have to pass the variables equal to the registers called, what is called, anyone, what I have given here, a define command out. Okay, so command out, then I will standard out, it will be going to be pass, that's in lines. That's all guys, everyone on the same page? Yes, no, tell me.
Yes.
Okay, so let's run this. I'm
Jiten is
going,
asking, I guess.
yeah,
Jiten, I guess he is asking something.
okay, so we have Ansible playbook. Now what I have done, variables, variable test file, I have to pass my credential, always remember. So I'm, instead of you another pass credential admin, do you remember I created the two privilege credentials, so I use this time admin one, and I can see the play is variable testing in Ansible using the command, and the excellent way it's running, the clock rate and RP generating. Till here clear guys? You understand, I hope so.
Yes.
So you can see that two okays are two. Okay, so let's understand, come to the, sorry, here, come to the your variables. Here I want to see, I'm passing my credential over here. Can you see this? Again and again every time. Yes, no.
Yes, yes.
So I want to integrate this credential into in my playbook. So my username and password should not prompt anymore. I'm not going to pass this. Means my syntax will be only these two. That's all. I will call the keyword followed by the my YAML bar. That's all going to be. So I have to create the playbook. So what I'm going to define, I have already defined the variables. So I will same way I will define the another variable. So for defining another variable, you have to come with the same alignment with the command line. So command line is a one variable, so I will give another variable as a login is another variable. I will give the space so that it will, and I will define my variable logins. In login, what are the things I have to define? My username, right guys? Tell me yes, no. And their password. Guys, you should not give your password like this. This is the, I'm going to teach you how to encrypt your password and username and everything in the next upcoming classes. But the first you understand how you can integrate your user and password with your playbook. So today's objective is how we going to integrate our username password. Okay, later on we will see how we going to integrate, how we going to encrypt this username password. This is not going to be defined in the play. It's going to be encrypted as a different variable. It's the explicit, means from the play it's going to be outside one simple credential file will be there, which is going to be encrypted. Okay, we will see in later, but today you understand how this variable going to use. So guys, you understand I define the variable, then tell me how we have to use this variable. Anyone? How we have to use this variable? Okay, let me save this play. I define the login username password in my variable. Now let's try this. So working, because I should not pass this. Let's see what going to be happened. They go through those play, of course they will run that play, but they are waiting to pass the parameter and they did not found the parameter. Oops. Yes, timeout, 10 seconds. They tried to log in the device, they failed. Are you guys understanding? The command timeout triggered because you are failed to log in. Okay, so because this credential you are not integrated while the login, so you have to integrate with the login. That is called the keyword called provider. What is keyword called? Provider. And in provider you can use again Jinja template with this credential integration, your credential, that is called, what is the variable? Login. So means what, you define your login variable with the user password or so many things I will add later on with your credential of the login, and you going to use the ISO command module. Whenever you need authentication to the device to run this command, please use the login variable. Are you guys understand or not? Tell me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now I'm going to save this. I'm create, save, and then I'm going to run the play with the two things. Now you see what going to be happen. Ah, excellent. You can see my outputs are just passing. I did not pass my credential. This is going to take care as a variable. So you saw the power of the variable. What variable we can. So you understand we have used the connection type local till now. Understand guys till now? Everyone comfortable or not till here?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So any questions? Should I move next level? I'm going to see the connection type local. We have done this.
One question, Ashwai.
Yes.
Okay, so suppose if we provide in the provider, we provide this credential as a username admin. So every time when we log in, so every time it will check these YAML code, or maybe he saves some in Linux cache also, or every time he refer to this YAML code whenever we
No.
log in.
To remove from your YAML code, this will not work because this is called local.
Okay, so nothing is saving in this Linux, I mean Linux cache.
Yes, it's not going to do. But we will see when we will, because there is no persistency. We will use next something called persistency and behavioral parameter. That is well defined parameters which is come. We will see all those parameters right now, don't worry. Once we will go for network CLI, means those connection we will use other rest of connection. Do you know, remember I showed you the options? We have netconf, we have SSH, sorry, means XML over SSH, JSON over SSH. So those things. So right now today I will show you in the connection local. This is the problem. You have to define this. Okay, but this is the legacy method. Okay, no one using nowadays, just for understanding, make you understand how we can integrate out. But the real use, you can see network connection. So I'm moving to that part. Okay, in next upcoming classes, I'm going to cover that, how instead of connection, we going to do the protocols, and we will use the persistency, and we're going to divert this credential not into on my playbook. It's a outside separate explicit credential sheet. Okay, there is a different test book which going to call in this, and that must be encrypted. So step by step we will see. First we will understand what the challenge when we are moving to connections from local, what the persistencies network CLI. Okay, so I'm going to see you next class. We'll continue with the same point. Bye bye.